Hey, welcome back, Pokemaniacs. Today we're going to discuss Mega Victreebel and how this Mega Pokemon's reveal has split the community, just as Mega Dragonites had before it. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. We're going to discuss this big fat boy.
Good luck. You'll need it.
Another Mega Evolution reveal, another split community. If you guys didn't know, Mega Victreebel has been revealed in a video, and it's been shown doing quite a few things, like spitting acid, hitting multiple Pokemon at one time, and just bouncing around and being an absolute menace. This thing is massive, it's huge. It looks like Victreebel, except that it's strangling itself with its own vine. And the face it makes when it's like resting or not actually doing anything is extremely derpy and has been compared to, well, the vice president of all things. I mean, welcome to the internet, right? But anyways, I digress. My point is the design is pretty interesting. It's kind of one of those strange, derpish designs, a repeat of Mega Dragonite, if you will. As you well know, recently Mega Dragonite was revealed, and I did a video covering that as well, but the long and the short of it was that the community really didn't like it because the uniqueness of the design, it just looked extremely derpy. And while that is par for the course for Dragonite itself, it is not the same for Victreebel. Victreebel itself is a little bit more intimidating. It's a very, very frightening and scary Gen 1 type plant monster. It's based off of a real plant that uses scents and smells to lure in insects and then dissolves them with acid inside of itself. So basically it's what the move Sweet Scent and acid combined together would essentially be in the Pokemon world. So a lot of people really don't like the new Mega design itself. The design is both loved and hated, and whether or not you love or hate it, it is what we've got. Problem is that a lot of people don't particularly understand what Game Freak's doing with these designs, and I have to agree, I'm leaning towards not liking it as much as people are loving it, but I don't absolutely hate it. The description of it explains the design. Too much acid requires it to wrap its vines around its neck to prevent the acid from coming out. I think the problem is that a lot of people see the way that's portrayed as an extremely derpy Pokemon, leading to them just not liking it because it's derp. And some Pokemon can pull that off, but other people feel that a Gen 1 intimidating grass poison type Pokemon like Victreebel shouldn't look like that, and thus the disconnect occurs. There is crazy competitive potential though, and if you're not a competitive player and you don't know, there are versions of Victreebel and sets that you can use in the competitive scene that are really, really good. He gets things like Power Whip, and he uses the ability like Chlorophyll so that he can double his speed in sunlight, which is really, really good. But in this instance, if it happened to get Corrosion, that also would make it a banger, which allows it basically to use poison moves or poison any Pokemon. It doesn't matter if they're a poison type or a steel type or immune to it for whatever reason. Corrosion basically bypasses that. And in later entries, as Pokemon does, they can alter the ability to make it more powerful and more busted and broken. But yeah, it is incredible competitive potential, meaning that there would be no switch in for this. It could just poison anything. So pretty solid for the competitive scene. Megas are becoming darker versions of themselves, or at least in this instance, while it does look derpy, the Pokedex entry does explain how it doesn't seem like a happy Pokemon overall, having to strangle itself to keep its own acid inside. What do you think about that dark entry there to explain why it looks like a giant bag of acid? It's pretty wild. The community is still split over this design, and even though the design itself splits the community, that is what people see first and they will read second. Or some people might not even read the entries at all and not ever understand why Mega Victreebel looks the way it looks. But regardless, we do have the darker entry. There is a more realistic type of design out there. A lot of people and a lot of artists and a lot of fans have decided to draw up new art of this Mega Pokemon, leading people to sort of see what a more aggressive, serious version of this Pokemon could look like. And I think if it was more serious and less derpy in its resting position, it would be taken a little bit more serious and better by the community overall. The community is annoyed at the same time at a handful of Pokemon getting constant attention, but Pokemon that don't get the same attention are hated. So for example, we have a lot of Gen 1 Pokemon getting pandering, like Charizard, Mewtwo, Eevee, Pikachu, things like Gengar, the starters, and yeah, a lot of people don't particularly enjoy that, whereas there are perfectly acceptable Kanto Pokemon that don't get much pandering, such as Mega Victreebel here, and a lot of people are split on their designs and don't particularly enjoy them. But overall, that would indeed be what happened with Mega Victreebel. And of course, there are plenty of memes and a lot of unique and interesting art going around where a lot of people have done their own depictions of Mega Victreebel. Are you a fan of Mega Victreebel? Do you like the design, or would you rather see a more realistic approach? For me personally, I think Mega Victreebel's design is really poor when it's translated into 3D. I think a lot of Pokemon's designs aren't particularly amazing when they translate into a full 3D environment. It still is amazing to me, growing up with the Game Boy itself in a 2D environment, to actually see these Pokemon translated into a more 3D environment where you can actually just run around with them and you can see them in the world. In this particular instance, in this game, it has been explained that Mega Pokemon have gone rogue and that you're going to be challenging these Mega Pokemon out on their own, right? Which means there's no trainer required, and when the battle ends, they stay Mega Pokemon. Thus, shown here in the trailer, I saw Mega Victreebel just hopping around outside of battle as well. So it kind of infers that you'll be able to use your Mega Pokemon outside of battles as well, which is really cool. And I'm really not trying to get off the subject of Mega Victreebel. If you do look, you can see the absolutely staggering size of Mega Victreebel itself in the trailer and how huge it is. It's pretty massive, all things considered. So it is an incredibly cool design, but I think the resting derpy face is what really throws a lot of people off about it. And I have to say that I'm in that boat too, because I'm not a particular big fan of hardcore, really aggressively designed Pokemon with sharp fangs and acid, and you know, they use attacks like Razor Leaf and Slash and things like that, and then see them translate into like a different type of evolution and they just go full derp mode, and it's like, oh, look at the cute silly Pokemon as it sprays acid and destroys everything. In some instances, I do believe it works, especially with some like fairy Pokemon or some normal types, but in this instance, I think a lot of people are correct, and it's not exactly the most favorable design. Is it the worst design I've ever seen? Is it my most hated Pokemon? No, by far not. But is it my favorite? Absolutely not. How do you feel about Mega Victreebel? Please leave a comment down in the section below. Make sure to like and share the video, and click that subscribe button, because I could always use more people tuning in to my Pokemon videos. Thanks for watching, thanks for being a fan, and hopefully I'll see you come back here next time for another video.
Him and tell me there's a god. He made me in his own image.